Hey world, I'm Josh.
I'm Lauren.
Welcome to another episode of Let's Try Stuff.
Booze edition.
Tonight we are trying from Bittermilk. I keep trying to say buttermilk, but it's Bittermilk. The Bittermilk #1 Bourbon Barrel Aged Old Fashioned Handcrafted Cocktail Mixer. It says it's strong and bittersweet, packaged with old fashioned spices. Says crafted by humans in small batches without preservatives or stabilizers. Shake well because natural settling may occur. This is batch number 62, so maybe it's not selling all that well. I don't know. Only 62 batches. And I've seen this online at like various hipster retailers. I think like Huckberry and stuff. Stir 1 part buttermilk, 4 parts rye or bourbon in a rocks glass and garnish with an orange peel. Well, we didn't do that part, the orange peel, because we're at home. We're not at a bar. We're not serving anybody. We need to look fancy.
No, we're not about that.
Here's a bourbon we used, which we haven't reviewed because it's kind of limited, 565 bottles, and it's kind of just for, I doubt you'd find it outside of our area.
It's very Ohio specific.
Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this bourbon. And let's see, 4-to-1 ratio. It also says the bittering agent is gentian root and cinchona bark.
Never heard of those things.
Yeah, I don't know what they are.
Let's see, what's in it?
Well, it also references organic cane sugar, water, burnt organic cane, sugar. So sugar,
And
that's burnt. Sugar, oh, and molasses, so sugar.
So more burnt sugar.
Sugar. A little bit of water, orange peel, spices, organic gentian root, cinchona bark, and tartaric acid.
That's probably to preserve it, since there's no unnatural preservatives or stabilizers.
Crafted by humans in small batches without preservatives or stabilizers.
Well, you know what I mean.
Refrigerate after opening.
Works as a natural
So
preservative.
4-to-1 ratio. I'll be honest. Why would you sell it to me in an 8.5 ounce bottle? I mean, I guess I appreciate the extra ½ ounce, but maybe that's for spills because it's kind of hard to pour into a jigger and not spill.
It is hard to pour. I'll put that one out there. It's kind of tricky to pour.
I don't really. The jigger, I think, is a terrible device. I mean, maybe that's why they invented the pour spout, because you pour this into a jigger every time I spill booze and waste money.
Yeah, every time.
Anyway, 8.5 doesn't easily fit in a 1-to-4 ratio. So what am I gonna do? Make 8 1-to-4 drinks and then a 1/2 to 2 drink
or
at the end.
if you want to use 1/2 ounce of that.
Don't bring logic into this, woman.
Can't help it.
So basically you got enough for 8.5 drinks or 17 drinks. Yeah, something like that.
Which, as I'm drinking this, I would highly recommend that, just like the other syrupy mixers that we tried, I would have this. It's awfully sweet. It's good. It's got a lot of spices to it, which I appreciate. It tastes like the spices and like orange, which what you want in an old fashioned. But at the same time, it's very syrupy, it's very thick in terms of the consistency, and it is very sweet.
We have a lot of old fashions. It's kind of our drink of choice, that and margaritas. I do think that the Bittermilk does thicken the drink up. It does have a syrupy consistency, not like full on, but it definitely does thicken the drink, which makes a lot of sense considering 4 of the top 5 ingredients are basically sugar. That being said, for a cocktail mixer, it pretty closely mimics what I would expect from an old fashioned.
Yeah.
It's not way off base.
No, It's not off base, and it is good.
In terms of tasting right and being good, this is probably the best old-fashioned mixer I've had.
Mm-hmm.
I have another one out in the fridge that maybe I'll review. It doesn't taste right at all. It tastes like, I don't even know, like Coke and bourbon.
Mm.
It's weird. But anyway, this pretty accurate rendition, but it does result in a slightly odd syrupy consistency as opposed to something that was made in a bar with the individual ingredients that didn't sit around.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could solve that by thinning it out with
Want some ice?
well, I was gonna say like club soda or something, soda
Yeah.
water, because I think
Some
that's
people-
originally how old fashions were made, was thinned out.
Yeah, some people like their old fashions with some club soda.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you get in a lot of restaurants. is
I
the
actually
club
like
soda
it that way
version.
just because I get more to drink. I like the way it tastes, but then you pay like $12 for this glass. It's got a little bit of something to drink in it, and I want to keep drinking.
Yeah.
Not even by virtue of wanting to get drunk. I just want more to drink.
You just want a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
sometimes I appreciate the club soda old fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, if this timer doesn't stop us from recording, let's see. I don't think it's going to. I don't know if I can smell it inside the bottle. Oh, it smells very different. That's it. See, the fact that this ended up tasting like an old fashioned is actually kind of surprising. Because it smells nothing like an old fashioned.
What does it smell like?
I think it smells like whatever that root and bark is. Nothing. Broken sniffer. It's pretty strong. It smells pretty like the spices.
Broken. Handicapped.
You are. Handicapable.
But I would definitely use this again.
Yeah, this won't be either getting neglected or poured out like
Yeah.
some of the stuff we have ends up.
Yeah, we've had some duds. This is absolutely not one of them.
I
don't
mean,
know.
we're pretty cheap, so we usually drink it anyway, but just suffer through it.
Yeah. So what would you grade this Bittermilk?
On a cocktail mixer scale, not as good. I don't know what number to put on it, but probably like an
if
8
you were-
out of 10. But I would say it's
Yeah.
worse than Al's Brew. I think Al's Brew is the best mixers we've ever had.
I think Owl's Brew has a line of mixers where if you don't like one, you'll at least like something else because they have a variety.
Way better than Stirrings.
Yeah.
It's the second best brand we've had, I think, and the number one old fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
A white whale we had back in the day. Maybe that's just because we were less sophisticated or something, but I don't remember those being terribly good.
No, they were really sweet. They made me feel kind of sick.
They were kind of the first ones on the market with the handcrafted cocktail
Yeah.
mixers.
What were those other ones we recently tried with the pear and the
Oh, Route 21. Yeah, those
Yeah.
are more like
simple
flavored
syrups.
simple syrups that they
Mhm.
give you recipes for cocktails, but we're halfway through those.
Yeah.
Those videos should have come out before this one. We shoot way in advance.
But yeah, I would definitely give it at least an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably try we did this with a bourbon. They suggest also a rye. I think maybe a rye would be a little better suited to this.
I think so because it's sweet enough. You don't really need a bourbon.
Right. I think, yeah, exactly. I think the rye would have less of a sweet addition to it.
Yeah, and I would try it also with a little splash of club soda.
Couldn't hurt. Couldn't hurt. Something to bust up that syrupy consistency.
But I'm feeling that way a lot about the old fashions that I'm having in bars and restaurants. Like, not that I'm having a whole lot of them, but just the last few that I've had, I have felt like they were too sweet.
Usually I think they're too strong.
Yes, both.
Normally I don't want to complain about getting too much booze in a $13 cocktail.
But it kind of kills the drink for you if it's just so boozy.
Yeah, I could have just bought a bottle of whiskey. I came here to drink something that tasted good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that has nothing to do with Bittermilk. I'm going to have to look and see what else I can find from them to see if we can try it. Not disappointed, not totally floored, but pretty good.
Yeah, a solid old-fashioned mix.
Highly recommend for strictly old fashions, and simply because if you're in a hurry, you don't feel like making your own old fashioned, you just want to dump an ounce of this or a half ounce of this into 2 ounces, an ounce into 4, then you just want something quick at the end of the night. This is so far the #1 contender.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, we've rambled on long enough.
Thanks for watching. Tell us what to try next.
And leave a comment down below and subscribe. And I guess we bought this, but check out bittermilk.com if you're
give
interested.
it a try.
I got it at Fresh Market. Yeah.
Always doing right by us, Fresh Market.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.